Ray, any troubleshooting to do, please. This is the time to share that information with us. 9 o'clock on a Thursday night. It's the Dream Team session. I'm just waiting for things to start on YouTube. Then we'll get going in earnest and have a chat with Nuno. There we go. Please. Right, we're live on YouTube as well. Excellent. Okay, good evening. Nuno was first to join us this evening. How are you this evening?
Good evening, everyone. Well, I'm feeling okay. I should say okay.
You look very well. Your smile is like a ray of sunshine on this damp, cold Portuguese evening, Nuno. So great to have you here from the insurance industry. No
Thank you.
news, good news.
Carl, he won't say it, but he's being a brave soldier turning up tonight. So
Absolutely.
thank you, Nuno.
I don't know how much to say
Very
because he won't thank us for it. Well, he just wants to get
No,
on with the show, basically.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah. So thank you for being here, Nuno, especially this evening.
Mhm.
Any news from the insurance industry that we might like to know about?
Okay, news about insurance. So today, when the day has started, I felt better because I'm a consumer of insurance. Okay, not only a broker, and we are, as consumers, we are complaining all the time about the insurance premiums, and an insurance channel has announced that in UK the auto insurance premium has increased 58% in 2023. So yes, well, the average premium is 1,160 euros. So,
Really?
and this felt me feel a little better. Okay.
Yeah, not for the drivers in the UK, but for the drivers
Yeah.
in Portugal, by the sound
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
extraordinary. What an amazing average price. And usually the kind of bragging rights are with Portugal compared to the United States for health insurance. But that's a stinger from the
This is
UK there.
auto insurance. This is auto
Yeah.
insurance. Yeah, yeah.
Wow, incredible.
So yeah, just a curiosity.
Yeah.
So nothing much about the insurance world, just to remind you that in case of a claim, or if you need any assistance on the health insurance regarding how to find a doctor, just call us, send us an email, and we'll assist you. It's a free service that we provide to you, to Expats Portugal members. So feel free to contact us.
That's
Okay.
wonderful. Thank you very much, Nuno. Thanks for being here. You've already got a testimonial here. Nuno and his team have worked wonders again with our insurance, picking up our Tesla Model 3 tomorrow. Very nice. And he's quite right about insurance in the UK. 58%. That's eye-watering, extraordinary, isn't it? So thank you, Nuno. Thank you, Rahan, for that testimonial there. Larry also with us tonight, but returning next week. I thought it sounds like you might be looking forward to this, Larry. Full-on packing mania to address and possible weather in San Martino de Porto. I'm afraid to tell you that it was a beautiful day yesterday in San Martino de Porto, not so much today, and we've got a cold front heading towards Portugal. So we'll see. Linda's looking forward to the ladies' disco night at the Storytellers Palace. I think you'll be nice and warm in there. So bring your white disco suit as well for that, Larry. Get that from the dry cleaners and bring it over with you as part of your packing. Good luck and bon voyage to you coming over to Portugal and returning here. Fantastic news. Phyllis from South Florida. Hola, bon night. Good evening to you, Phyllis. And Peter, I'm here, but not much working at the moment. Is that in Wales, I wonder? Okay, we'll talk to you a bit later on, Peter. Let's see how Daniel's doing with 10 days or thereabouts to go to the general election here in Portugal. Are things getting any more exciting on the political scene, Daniel, or fraught?
Well, we had the kids, the political, or not the climate activists. They put green paint on one of the political leaders, and it created a bit of a turmoil. I condone those type of actions. I don't think they are correct because they don't bring anything to the political discussion whatsoever. So, and there was, I think, throughout all the political spectrum, everyone did indeed disapprove out of that type of protest. But that was the major thing that came up. And Pascoal, the old leader, came to the discussion as well, and he steered a bit of the crowd. So I think that the campaign is just ramping up, And people like myself that will vote before I'll be able to vote this Sunday. You call it anticipated vote, so I'm voting one week earlier. So I will be able to cast my vote this next Sunday, and voting a week before everyone. It's going to be fun.
And is that by post? Are these what a postal vote
No,
equivalent?
fortunately, it's not by post. You need to enroll. It's actually a quite simple and non-bureaucratic system that the Portuguese government did develop. So I was quite surprised. I went online. I've inserted my data from my citizens card, and with not even 5 minutes, I was able to do this anticipated vote scheme, select the place where I want to vote, and that was it. So it was probably the most unbureaucratic thing that I've ever done in Portugal. And usually voting in Portugal is not bureaucratic, so that's quite good. But changing this voting thing to a week before, I was expecting to be just a nightmare. It wasn't, so I'm happy about it. It's usually I do report on the bad bureaucratic stuff about Portugal. This time, I must say that I'm really happy and really content that I will be able to vote in anticipation, and it wasn't bureaucratic at all.
That's amazing. When Portugal does innovates, it innovates well, doesn't it? And that's one good
Yep.
example, isn't it? And there may be others that we can talk about, like the multi-banco system, where you can buy a fishing license online and do
Right.
other things like that. And there are so many things in there. I've yet to scratch the
Yep.
surface, but we might be able to ask you and Nuno and Camilla about that. So thank you very much. And the gentleman who had green paint thrown over him by Climaxo, are they called, the climate lobby group?
Yeah. If you do the translation, it's max climate. It's something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was Montenegro that got the green paint, and the government actually offered to all the political parties to have the private bodyguards of the prime minister to protect each political leaders, and they refused because they still think that Portugal is a safe country, so they don't need any type of special ops or special people or bodyguards to protect the political leaders. And I think that's actually good because it's still a safe country, and they don't need private protection or public protection. So it's something good came out of that situation, and this was all the
Yes.
political leaders stating that we don't need any type of special measures. We don't want any special protection.
Do you know what? That gave me a little chill of appreciation there. That's very inspiring to hear it put that way. So thank you, Daniel. And I think the gentleman himself said in response, I thought you said the government were going to pay for the dry cleaning, but better still, they were offered to pay for security or provide security. He said, didn't he, talking would have been easier. And that,
Yep.
again, is a fabulous retort and response from a Portuguese politician. So fantastic. Thank you for that update. And is it normal to vote on a Sunday? Are elections normally held on a Sunday in
Oh,
Portugal?
yeah, definitely. All the elections in Portugal are normally on a Sunday, and the polls are usually open from 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning until around 6 to 7, depending a bit on the regions. But so there's a big time span where you can vote, and usually the only thing that you need to carry is your citizens card. They will check your citizens card, will check your enrollment number, will provide the ballots, and you just go and cast the ballots, and that's it. It's fairly simple. It doesn't entail any type of computers. It's all in hand. But I think that to be fairly honest, this is just a personal opinion. In terms of voting, electronic machines, I'm a bit scared of electronic machines to vote. So
Yes.
if there's a combination of the two systems, while you cast the ballot on a physical fashion, and you have a machine to just speed up the counting of the votes, I'm happy with that. So a mixed system, but a system that is only electronic, I think that fraud may be akin. So for instance, Sporting, my club, and Nuno has this mixed system. You go, you select the candidate that you want to do in a machine. It prints out a ballot with the candidate's name, and then you put it in a box. So you have the two systems. One system electronic to cast the vote quickly, and another one as a fail-safe, just to count the votes in hand if you wish. So probably something that the US should think, and to get the system not bureaucratic, because it seems that it's really bureaucratic to vote in the US.
Yes, thank you very much for that insight. And of course, that's something people can look forward to when they become citizens. They will get a general election vote, and we will be able to do it in that way. Thank you very much for that. Why are you, Nuno, voting at Sporting Lisbon? Do you get to vote for the players?
No, for the direction of the club.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's quite the honor and quite a good way of doing things, isn't it? Okay. I feel I should move on, but we may come back to you on some more of these pointers for living in Portuguese society. Really educational and insightful. Thanks, Daniel. Oh, and the world of law. Anything to report from the world of law, which is what you're here for?
Well, not at the time being, because the political, as the parliament is not issuing any new laws, we're just waiting for the elections. No big developments have risen up, so I don't think that I do have any big developments to convey on that front.
Very good. The news you did share with us, sadly, is that Gilda is not very well this evening. She succumbed to some symptoms.
Gilda asked me to say hello to everyone. She has a bad flu, so I'll try to compensate as much as possible, but it's probably impossible because she is the queen of the visas. So
absolutely,
it is what it is.
And you didn't bring your tiara tonight, so
yes,
for that. And we'll do our best to cover those questions and send. Yeah, if you could return our best wishes, as melhoras to our amiga, Queen of the Visas, there, Rainha da Visas, I guess she would be called in Portuguese. So lots of love to Gilda. We'll do our best here. We've also have got Jerry, of course, and Jackie with us. So we'll have a dream team that's comprising of a couple of expats, Portugal team members as well. I'll do my best to help out as well. And Shari's here as well from Greenback. Thank you, Shari, at 4 in the morning, I suspect, or some similarly ungodly hour. How are you?
Hi, Carl. I'm okay. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Concerned about you as usual, getting up so early in the morning to help people.
Yeah.
Anything schedule-wise that people need to know about with their filing of taxes? Where are things at the moment with the taxation temperature in the United States?
Actually, things are getting a little bit busier now on the US tax side. So a lot of American expats has already started filing their US taxes. Some are already finished filing.
Really?
So yeah. And we're still accepting filing extension requests if you think you won't be able to meet the filing deadline this April or June.
Yeah.
So you can also book a US tax planning with one of our expert accountants to ensure that you're still a US tax compliant while living in Portugal or living outside the US. So feel
Very
free to
good.
contact.
Excellent. So a consultation of that kind, and you're still accepting requests for delaying. Is that the phrase you used for delaying your filing process?
Yeah, it's the filing
extension.
extension.
An extension, absolutely right. Yeah, thank you for sorry for not getting the terminology right, but thank you for being with us. That's Shari there of Greenback Expat Tax Services, who can answer any questions you've got about US taxation. We've got Camilla behind the scenes as well, working alongside Nuno. Jackie, how are you this evening?
I'm on mute. Hi.
I noticed. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm really well. I'm listening to people talk about their taxes, and we are getting close to tax time in the US. And what we're finding is Greenback, actually, we have calls into Greenback, me and my husband, because taxes are very confusing when you're an expat. And Greenback is like the only group I've ever actually been aware of that actually thinks about how confusing it can be for an expat and the tax obligations in one country and another.
Yeah.
So we're reaching out to you guys in Greenback for our taxes too.
I think Jackie's very pleased to see you tonight, Shari. A reassuring presence on the
And
team.
you're here at 4 a.m. Is it 4 a.m. for you in Greenback?
5
it's only 5. That she's fine.
Yeah,
I am very impressed. I am so impressed.
Yeah, thanks,
Wow,
Shari. Really
this is
appreciate you
great.
being here.
Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank
really
you for
good.
being here. Wow.
Excellent. So Jackie's here. Any questions you have as an American expat having settled here or settling in here in Portugal? Jackie can take those questions, as can Jerry, who is in near Tomar tonight in the Templar capital of Portugal. How are you, Jerry?
Yeah, very good. Thank you, Carl. I was actually in a wet and cold Coimbra this afternoon. It wasn't a very nice place to be this afternoon. It was very cold and miserable. But,
We're painting such a brilliant picture of life in Portugal.
yes, aren't we just? Yes, that's not why any of us are here, right?
Well, I would say in Coimbra's defense that it's still a very beautiful place. It's it's among the better places to be on a cold, grey and wet day.
Maybe so, but then I also dinged the car in one of those underground car parks. I hate those underground car parks.
Okay. Yes. Well, okay. Yeah, maybe you can expect a call from Jerry tomorrow, Nuno. Unless there's anything you want to ask him directly, Jerry, this evening, you can do that, of course, as a member of the Dream Team to a fellow Dream Team panelist. All right, thanks, Jerry. Thanks for being here. Living in central Portugal, if you've got any questions about that. It will be a bit different tonight, and so we might address more of the cultural lifestyle things given the makeup of the panel tonight. Right, let's go to those questions that are appearing now in the Zoom chat and over on YouTube as well. I know a few people are watching on YouTube, so do say hi and ask any questions you've got over there. Tom Smith is in tonight. Greetings from Ohio, where it's a sunny 2 degrees. It was 22 on Tuesday. That's quite the difference, isn't it? Peter, everything's working for Peter. Fantastic. In most of the world, elections are usually on a Sunday, apparently. US and UK are exceptional in that regard. In US, says Larry. Go on, Nuno, sorry.
Sorry.
I thought you'd unmuted there to say hi, to add something.
No, myself.
Oh, no, you're okay. I'll press on then. Larry says, in US, voting is typically run state by state. Many do paper entered into electronic systems as described. So we are not completely backward there, Daniel, at least in that area. In brackets, Kaushal spoke to Sherry of Greenback and very helpful. Thank you. So a lovely testimonial for you there, Sherry. And Diana, I beg your pardon, our US Congress is voting to allocate funding to keep the IRS open on a weekly to monthly basis. Filing before a potential IRS shutdown may be a good idea. Do you have anything to add to that, Sherry? Is there a little bit of a concern around that with that possible change there or a shutdown with the IRS?
Actually, the IRS e-filing shutdown has just finished
okay.
the 3rd week of January. So there,
So we should be okay.
starting 3rd week of January, they have started accepting e-file returns.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that information there, Diana, and thank you for your response, Sherry. To Rebecca, to the person who said last week that she works for the federal government and trying to decide between a D7 and a D8, I was thinking about this and wonder if you're able to set up enough passive income now to qualify for a D7 and just keep working when you move to Portugal. Remember, you are permitted to continue working with a D7 provided you meet the passive income requirements. Without NHR, you'd be taxed on income from your job. Ask the experts on that. So that's helpful, Rebecca H. And not exactly a question, but a little bit of help for the person. And I can't remember, forgive me, I can't remember who that was who was asking that and considering that as an option and as a possibility. In the US, states run the elections and they set their own processes. Some good electoral talk tonight. It is usually fairly easy to register, and some states, California, Colorado, Hawaii, Oregon, and Washington state, automatically mail you a ballot. Thank you for that. And I was in Portugal for 59 days in 2023. Have residency and NHR. Do I have to file in Portugal? I am planning to meet with an expert, but as a general question or a wish there. So for Larry there, Daniel, can you address that one? With 59 days, will Larry need to file?
Well, if Larry has an HR, this means that he is a tax resident, so he will need to file a report from the time that he became a tax resident until the end of the year. So I'm presuming that he became a tax resident in the past year, in 2023. And if he was just 59 days in Portugal or 59 days as a tax resident in Portugal, basically he should declare the income that he had in the 2 last months of the year. And you will only be taxed on that income of those last 2 months. So you will need to carry on or you will need to deliver the tax returns on his country of origin. I do presume it's the US, and you will need to file a tax report just for the 2 last months here in Portugal. And we'll need to declare, of course, the type of income, and hopefully the income is indeed NHR relevant and will not be or the taxation will not be so cumbersome here in Portugal, but nonetheless, it needs to be declared.
Okay, thank you very much for that. It's a bit quiet tonight, everyone, so now's a good chance to ask a question. Larry, thanking you. Thanks, Daniel. I guess no dinner every night at Storytellers when we return. Okay, yes, just maybe a little more stringent budgeting going on there then in anticipation of Daniel's response there. Over on YouTube, we've got Squire of the Shires, Bon dia todos, and Nubianet listening, watching from California as usual. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Nubianet and the Nanu. Someone I know from Pakistan applied for the D2 on the 23rd of October 2023 and got approval on the 23rd of February 24, 4 months until. Just sharing in case some clients from Pakistan ask EI about the time. And that's really helpful, Nano. Thank you for that. And as I said before, it's always nice to hear of people's milestones or just really what's going on in their processes. So any more information like that people have from their own personal point of view, gladly received in our chat this evening. And Anya Juanrisco, good afternoon or good night, everyone. We'll say a bon night to you, Anya. Thank you for saying hi in the chat there over on YouTube. If you've got a question, do let us have it. Let me come back to the Zoom chat here. Diana, as of today, the IRS is funded through to March the 8th. Wow, is that how it works? It works on almost like a daily funding model there. Quite incredible. And Diana's even sent a picture to I didn't know you could send images like that. That's a good note to self for me there if we want to share images in the Zoom chat. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so do get your questions into the chat either on the Zoom or over on YouTube. Jackie, we had a great conversation yesterday. We've been recording some interviews. Well, I've been interviewing you about some of the high points and some of the expectations that have been well exceeded for you here in Portugal. It was great to have a conversation with you. And I heard things from you that I'd not heard before, despite the fact that we've had many conversations in the morning and in this environment here. So thank you for that.
One thing I thought was fun was that when we talk about the hacks, our
yes,
hacks,
yes,
about living in Portugal, and I think that well, besides how wonderful I think living in Portugal is, there are a lot of special tricks that make life a lot easier in Portugal if you know them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we talked about them yesterday on, Portuguese hacks. And I'm curious if anybody who's landed here has any of their own hacks to share with the group.
To go alongside the hashtag Jackie hacks that I think will become a
hacks. I thought you were talking about hats. I'm thinking, what are you two going on about?
We were talking about Jackie hacks, HACK hacks there that make life easier here in Portugal.
Got it.
Yeah, thank you.
And some of them are really surprising. Like yesterday, me and my husband decided to go to a Burger King. Now, I will say one thing. We had never gone to a fast food restaurant since we've lived here for 4.5 years. And what we knew was because the food source is so much better here. And we knew the quality of the meat would be different because we're in the EU.
Yeah.
And so we decided, okay, we're going to go to Burger King for lunch and try a Burger King burger in Portugal. Well, one thing is true, it really does taste a lot better than the US. And it's not just me. Guys was like, it's not going to taste different. I'm like, yes, the quality of the meat is going to be so much better. And yes, it did taste different. But in the US, before you say the order out of your mouth, you're handed the product. You don't even have to say Whopper. You don't even get the word out. It's handed to you. That's how fast food is in the US. But my husband says, well, another hack is fast food isn't quite as fast in Portugal. So that's what we realized yesterday.
That's worth knowing.
So this was just yesterday's hack, but it's worth it because it does taste better. But there were a lot of hacks we were talking about.
Well, let's
and-
not give anything away, Jackie, because
okay.
I want to keep hashtag Jackie hacks a secret for the time being. Watch out for those on the Expats Portugal channel, because I'm looking forward to editing those into discrete chunks of life hacking here in Portugal. But if you have got, as Jackie was asking there is an invitation if you want to share any of your life hacks. So we might go back to multi-banker machines and how to get your fishing license for when me and Jerry go fishing and can drink some Irish whiskey from a boat whilst fishing for trout in central Portugal. Sounds like a plan. Let's go to, Pedder says, yeah, me too, hacks or hats. I think there might be an opportunity for you to wear hats as well, the way things have gone this evening, Jackie. And Portugal, they have the meats. They really do. Laronda's saying that. And it's good to hear that within the context of not quite so fast food as the US, a burger here, a Burger King burger is the same, well, better. It's meant to be the same all around the world, but you think it's a bit better. Well, that's good.
Well, the quality of the meat is so much higher because the laws are so much stricter in the EU. I mean, the burger meat in the US, I mean, they could basically throw anything into that mix.
And do. Yes.
And it's a little suspicious what it's in your meat.
Right.
And that's why it's such a cheap food source.
Okay. Well,
so it's a lot better here. I mean, the quality, it's like you're eating real beef when you eat a burger.
How reassuring in a burger.
Jackie, you've never had a good old Portuguese pig's ear salad, obviously.
Oh, a what kind of salad?
A pig's ear salad.
That sounds horrible. But
it is horrible.
It gets a thumbs up from Daniel. We'll come back to that, Daniel. Forgive me, Vera, I forgot to say hello to you. So Vera is here from Mortgage Direct as well. Vera,
hello.
Unmute and say hi. How are you this evening?
I'm good, and you? Nice to see you.
Yeah, pretty good. Good to see you as well. What's new in the world of mortgages?
Well, the news is, like I said, last week rates are going down. We just have the news today, and I think that in Portugal, everybody saw it on the news that Euribor is coming down from tomorrow. So this is great news. So we're expecting to have better rates on the next month, starting tomorrow.
Excellent. Yeah, first day of March tomorrow, and along with it's a cut in the rates then. And if you want to talk to Vera at Mortgage Direct about, getting a quote basically and finding out how you can get a property purchase financed, talk to Vera, who I'm sure will put her details. If not on the screen, you can find them in the business directory. So thanks for being here. How is interest in property in the Algarve at the moment, Vera? Can you give us a little bit of a sense of the market down there at the moment?
You mean if people are buying now?
Yeah.
On the last month was that we found a big decrease of clients looking to buy. That has to do as well with the rates, as a lot of people are buying with a mortgage, and was a little bit unstable, I would say, until on the last 3 months. But now with the rates coming back more stable, Euribor going down, and this month was incredible of people buying in Portugal, and even I do Portugal and Spain, but it was a very, very good month, like we haven't seen for the last 4 or 5 months.
Well, that's
so this means that everything is going back to normal. People are more often looking to buy, and was an amazing month mortgage related.
Very good. Okay, so we may be past a little bit of a blockage there. The weather's changing. Spring is here, so that and the rates are being cut, so hopefully a better picture then for
yes, indeed. So everybody that is looking to buy in Portugal, and if you'd like to have an idea how does this work, you can just send me an email with your details. I will send you a link where you can fill out our form totally for free. You don't charge any fees. We can study your financial profile and let you know right away if you are feasible to obtain a mortgage in Portugal. If you
Perfect.
do, we can complete you, and no fees to start up, nothing is charged, and you can help you by getting the best rates and conditions with the banks that we work directly with at the branches.
Okay? And yeah, you are not tied to a particular bank, as I recall. You go looking for the best rates.
Yes, what we do is based on the specific client profile, we go for the bank that we think that will suit this client needs better.
Okay.
So we do work almost with all the banks in Portugal. Of course, we have preference for 2 or 3, like I said, depending on the profile of the client. If
Yeah.
his income is in euros, what tax country is the client coming from? And we can offer the best rates and conditions that normally the client cannot achieve directly at the bank.
Superb. Okay, so a free consultation if you need it there with Vera Simal at Mortgage Direct. Thank you very much for that. And Jerry, already using the newly discovered picture feature with a lovely pig's ear salad. That was quick,
Yes.
Jerry.
Yes. Next time I buy you lunch, that's for you.
Yeah, there's something to look forward to. You know, the toss-up between a Whopper and a pig's ear salad. It's going to be a close
It
run.
is close. It's very close. Yes.
Alex,
Not at all.
no, says Jackie. Okay. Does anyone know what modifications are generally required to the US specifications of a car to bring it into Portugal besides the lights? Nuno might be our best man to ask about this. So bringing a motor vehicle in from the United States, what sort of modifications are required, Nuno, generally speaking?
I didn't understood
It's the importation of a car from the United States. Most, I guess, a general modification is to the headlights. What else do you, from your experience of knowing people bringing cars in from the United States, what else might they have to change about the vehicle? Jerry might have something to add.
So in Europe, the car changes are very limited and restricted. So when we see some TV programs that people change everything in the car,
Yes.
here is not allowed. So you could, when you import a car from US to Portugal, an inspection is required. And it's during the inspection when you will know if you need to make any change in the car in order to be approved to drive to circulate in Portugal or not. Okay. For example, I don't remember the Tesla, the last car that appears like a spaceship. What is the name?
Let's go with the latest Tesla.
Yeah, the latest. Which is the name? I'm missing the name. I'm sorry. It will be the effects of the
anesthesia.
For sure.
Call it Tesla X-Wing.
Tesla X-Wing. Thank you very much.
No, not that one. The one that is silver, all silver.
Right.
Oh, the truck.
The truck.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, Cybertruck. Okay.
It will not be allowed to. It will not be approved in Europe. This is what we are hearing, because all of the dimension and so on.
The angles.
So
the angles
you can
are all
count.
wrong. They can't be rounded properly and so on. So
yes, exactly. So count with those restrictions. Nevertheless, we already had insured some cars changed in US, but minor change and they are approved to circulate in Portugal. So don't expect big deal. So if we're not talking about big cars and cars with huge engines, you'll be okay.
Okay, so pimping one's ride, so to speak, is not a very doable thing here in Portugal, and that can come as a bit of a shock to people who fancy creating a little bit of a camper van. Again, the rules are very tight on that, aren't they? People think they can make a camper van out of a white van, for example, and go touring around Portugal. That's not an easy thing to do. In fact, that won't get through an inspection, will it? No.
Regarding if it's easy or no, yes and no. It depends.
Right. Okay, go on.
The typical. Okay.
Talking like a true lawyer, my friend.
Yes.
Because you can make interior changes and transform a van on a camper van, and you will face no problems with this.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends on the kind of changes that you are thinking on making on it.
Okay, but then they need all to be taken out, don't they, at the point of inspection? Presumably, that's how some people approach that.
No, for example, if you are installing a toilet in the van and the bed and so on, this will not change the risk. Okay, this will not represent a higher risk to the car or to others.
Yeah.
So they will approve this.
Oh, okay.
Actually, they don't need to approve. This is some changes that we make and they are done. Point. Okay. But if you are thinking on putting a tent above upon the van or open some windows, yeah, these require an inspection.
Okay, so changes to the structure and the bodywork will come into the realm of inspection.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think we may have had Nuno freeze up there because I was going to ask him.
Yes.
Oh, okay, we've got you back. We've got you back. I was going to ask as well, the camper van. Is it in Portugal? Is it necessary to have a bidet inside a camper van? I'm only kidding. Let's move on from that.
Carl,
Yeah.
can I just add to all that
Yes, please,
valuable information that Nuno's just given, and Larry has summed it up really well in the chat. Even a standard car, a standard European car, will have been the standards, the specification for the US market will be very different than the specification for the UK for the European market. But certainly things like speedo calibration, lights, things like that. But any alterations that have been made to the car could be beyond the sort of standard specification can be a big problem. The best advice we can give on all of this is check it before you commit to shipping a car. Check the prices, because it has been known, we have heard stories about cars arriving here and couldn't be matriculated and had to be returned to the US. And that can get very, very expensive.
What a nightmare.
So it's worth checking beforehand.
Yeah,
and it's down to the individual car. It's down to where it was manufactured, the age of it, and so on and so forth. There's quite a lot of detail.
Excellent. Thank you for adding to that. And thank you, Larry, who says after comms with the Automobile Club de Portugal, ACP, that members of Expats Portugal can create a preferential relationship with ACP through the business directory. And that was for his 84 Audi Quattro. What a beautiful car. I've heard headlights, rear fog light, Euro speedo in kilometers per hour. Obviously, getting the manufacturer's specs is often more difficult with older models, especially from the EU for some reason. So thank you for adding that. Daniel, thank you for putting your details. Contacto at respelicano.com for Daniel if you have any legal questions and you'd prefer to contact him directly. Tom Smith also adding to Alex's excellent question about US specification changes on motor vehicles. The rear turn signals need to be yellow, not a blinking tail light. Emissions are different as well. Thank you, Tom Smith, for adding to that. That's great. And LaRonda says that Tesla truck is super ugly. Someone in my area has one, and it looks unlikely that that's going to be coming to Europe. LaRonda also asks of you, I think, Jerry, is the pig's ear fried? If so, I'll try it. I'm sure I've eaten just about every other part of the pig growing up, including the squeak, I imagine, like you have in Portugal here.
To the best of my knowledge, I chose to have it because I thought it looked like an octopus salad in a buffet or something. And I thought that's what I was eating until I got this sort of crunchy taste in my mouth. And I said to someone, "What am I eating?" And they said, "Oh, that'll be the bone of the pig's ear."
Lovely.
So, no, it wasn't fried. I don't know. It could have been raw for all I know. I don't know. Horrible.
Okay,
anyway.
I think that's for only the most committed carnivore, because Jackie looked like she was quite disturbed by that.
Well, it's also a dog treat.
But Jackie has eaten a burger at Burger King, and there isn't much difference. That's my point.
Okay, there is a difference. They don't have Whoppers in the pet store as pet treats, but they do have pig ears.
Well, that's a pretty good comeback. That's a pretty good comeback, Jackie. Yeah. That's a touche for sure. Thank you very much for that. I think this is good. The pig's ear thing is going to run and run, kind of, in the chat here. Peder, I didn't have any problems importing my van into Sweden. Just fitted left-hand drive headlights. I had no problems with my van being right-hand drive. They even recognise my MOT from the UK. It's more difficult for sure, I think, coming to Portugal. Portugal, Pedro, but thank you for that. I had thought LaRonda said about bringing my 2015 VW Golf TDI, but won't now. So I think we've put LaRonda off that. Although, Nuna, you're saying you don't expect any big barriers with that particular vehicle. Although I think we might have lost Nuna for the moment there. That's a good idea, LaRonda. Have a chat with Nunu about that. Yeah, get all the help you can from the Dream Team. And of course, as Nunu said there, you can contact him via his contact details outside of this environment. Pig's ears, this is running and running. Pig's ears were a delicacy in Lithuania in my days there, left in 1987. And if pig's ears are interesting, wait until you see what's in a hot dog. Oh, really? That's quite the can of worms tonight. Right, let's go over
Worms?
Let's go over to YouTube. Lots of great questions over there. Vision Portugal Dream, thank you for being here this evening. Good evening. Do you know the process of obtaining a child's resident card after our cards have been delivered? The letter states to inform IMA once we have them. They know nothing about this. Thanks. Daniel, can you advise on that? I mean, you may have an experience of people getting their cards through the citizenship or correspondence through the citizenship. What would you say about that?
Well, but it seems like the parents have obtained a residency permit, correct? And now they want to do family reunification or regrouping with the kid, correct?
I think so, yeah.
If this is the case, well, the kid needs to be studying in Portugal, so it needs to be enrolled in the school. If the legal age for studying is already upon the child, so 6 above. And basically the birth certificate from the kid will need to be obtained, newly obtained. It needs to be less than a year ago of the issuance date, and it needs to be apostille. The booking should be done, and that's about the size of it. It's a fairly simple process, but the enrolling in the school part is really adamant, is really a key role, a key aspect out of the family reunification with a kid.
Okay, the application was done together, so I'm assuming then in this case that it's just a delay on the children's cards.
If it was done together, then yes, it's just a delay in the card. CEF or AIMA did stop the issuance of the cards for quite a substantial amount of time, because with the change of the entity, they were just redoing some internal processes. But the reports that I'm having from Gilda's team is that the cards are being nowadays issued and are arriving to the applicants. So in a few days or 1 or 2 weeks, probably the card will arrive.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that's some sort of reassurance there. But yeah, I think you're in the hands of the printing and postal system there, and it can appear a little random. So good luck with that, Vision Portugal Dream. Anya asks, this is a slightly confusing question. You might have to help us out here, Anya. Can an American open a bank account in the USA, minimum amount, and have monthly deposits while still in the USA? And you go on to say that is open a Portuguese bank account while still in the USA and make monthly deposits. There's no problem with that, is it, Daniel?
No, not at all. Foreigners can open bank accounts in Portugal. They generally need the Portuguese tax number and the proof of address, and usually the bank will request some proof of employmentship. So the work contract or any other type of documents that do demonstrate the type of income that person has. And once that due diligence is satisfied, the account is opened. So I don't see any problems with a US client having a Portuguese bank account and from month to month to deposit some money here, as long as the proof of income is justified beforehand. So if you say that you're unemployed and all of a sudden €500,000 appears in the account, some bells may start ringing. But if the correct documents are delivered, then the compliance will not nag about it. But I usually advise people to act on the preventive side, provide as much financial information as possible to the compliance of the bank, so they don't stop the transfers in the future. That's basically the advice that I can provide.
Very helpful. Very helpful. Thanks, Daniel. Anya, that should work for you. The Nanu says, tax question here. A non-resident from India, owner of a Unipasal LDA in Portugal, taking 1,000 salary, then the 25% fixed rate is on the total monthly salary or the total monthly salary minus the Portuguese minimum salary. Does that make any sense to you, or do we need to hold that over for next week, Daniel, for Gilda's return?
Well, I think that I can assist a bit. The withholding of tax, this is usually a measure that the Portuguese government has. So instead of the person paying the taxes on the next year, there's a withholding of 25% in some categories of income that basically the government will keep that money until next year's tax return delivery. So in 2023, people that have work contracts, even green receipts or self-employed people when they are working or providing services to company, the withholding of the 25% tax may be a reality. And that money will basically be used to the delivery of the tax returns on the following year, and then the government may pay back some money at the end, or even if the person had an income that puts him or her in the tax bracket above the 25%, that person may have to pay income taxes. So that sounds reasonable and within what's expected. I can say that that description is indeed within expected.
Okay, that's brilliant. Thanks, Daniel, for that. There you go, Nonu. Mama Bear saying, hello, Expats Portugal family. Good to be here and learn about taxes as a future expat. That's from Angela. Thank you very much. And Anya saying, thanks for the answer on the Portugal bank account. I will be applying for the D7 visa. I'll hire a lawyer. Well done. Don't forget to consider EI for these sorts of processes. And you can find them, of course, in our business directory and get a discount as a member, of course, of Expats Portugal. I think we've sorted you out there, Vision Portugal Dream, with the daughter's residency card. I hope we have. Any more questions over there on YouTube? Pop them in the chat, and likewise here on Zoom as well. Let's see what's going on back here on Zoom, shall we? With about 12 minutes to go. All the talk seems to be of pig's ears, although it has broadened a little bit to beef tongue. Now, yes, you can buy tongue here, Alex, in Portugal. Who knew that we would be having this conversation this evening? Peda, do trailers need to be registered separately in Portugal as they are in many EU countries, or is it the same as the UK? The trailer carries the same number as a towing vehicle. That's a great question. Can you help us with that, with trailers, Nuno?
It depends on the weight of the trailer. Up to 300 kilos, I believe is not our field. So I believe that it can keep the car's plate number, and it can be insured by the same auto insurance policy. Above 300 kilos, it needs an individual plate number and an individual insurance policy to the trailer.
Okay, thanks for that.
But I like here some disclosure that is not our field.
Yes.
But I believe that it works this way.
It's one of those "it depends" answers, isn't it? Really, where you've got to get the right appropriate treatment for the particular trailer in question. I would think there, Peda. If you've already got the trailer, and you've got the dimensions. I guess the ACP might be able to help you a little bit better as well. If you've got.
Oh yes, for sure.
Okay, thanks for that, Nuno. Great answer there, Rebecca. This is nothing to do with Portugal, but it is to do with pig's ears. So my dog buried a pig's ear in the garden, which had apparently rehydrated from the moisture in the soil. I saw the dog with something in her mouth and freaked out. I thought for a few seconds that she'd found a buried body. Hours of fun tonight here talking about pig's ears. On the Dream Team session every Thursday night. Not that we talk about pig's ears every Thursday night at 9 p.m. However, we are happy to deal with many aspects of Portuguese culture, and that's why we've been talking about pig's ears this evening. Thank you, Sherry, for putting your contact details in there for US expat taxes. That's excellent. And I think in this last 10 minutes, we'll talk a little bit more then, maybe not about food, but earlier on, we were talking about Portuguese innovation. And there are, although, Portugal obviously gets some heat for being a little bit on the bureaucratic side, to put it mildly. There are some amazing innovations, aren't there? Like the multi-banco system and MBWay and these sorts of innovations that I think have started in Portugal and they kind of run with it. And it's been and feel free to give me other examples as well, Daniel, Nuno, I think you can principally speak on
Via
this. Via
The other one
Verde is
is
another one, isn't it? Via Verde is another.
Yep,
Not that we like that especially, but it is a pretty cool system
it
as
is.
well. Now,
Especially because it's quite old. Nowadays, it doesn't seem remarkable, but at the time that was implemented more than 20 years ago, it was a remarkable innovation.
yeah, absolutely. And the transponder on the windscreen, all of that sort of stuff. I want to ask you as well about the portal, the Finances portal. Now, yesterday was an extended deadline for validating spending through the. Why are you laughing already, Daniel? Because I think this is quite a useful topic to
I
share with.
was one of the victims, not for myself, but I was trying to approve the invoices, the receipts for my parents, and the portal blocked on the last day. And then I saw that the government did extend it, but well, I didn't have time to deal with it, so that's why I'm laughing. I left it to the last day to approve the receipts of my parents. Mine, I took care of it, but for them, I did miss probably December month. A few receipts were not approved, but at the end, I don't think it will make a big difference on their income tax. But still, it's quite common in Portugal. You create a deadline, then the web portal from the government crashes, and then they extend 2 or 3 more days for people to deliver. So I've seen this before.
Yeah, and the whole population thinks, okay, we've got an extension, so we'll still wait another 2 days, and we'll all go onto the portal at the same time. Now, what I want to share with people, Daniel, with your help, is what you're talking about there, which I don't think is it's not certainly not a system that I'm familiar with in the UK. This is where you validate the spending that has been earmarked, sorry, not pigs earmarked, but earmarked by when you're in the shop and you ask for your NIF or your contribuent, you're giving your tax number, aren't you? And that's not the end of the story. The end of the story is the thing you've just been talking about, which is the spender, the person who wants to claim that relief, has to go in and validate that spending on the Finances portal. Is that right? Pretty much.
Correct. The person doesn't need to, especially if you don't, you're not a tax resident here and you don't have an income in Portugal. So if you don't need to deliver the tax returns here in Portugal, it's indifferent. You don't need to provide your NIF number. And one word of advice to all US expats out there: it's okay to provide your Portuguese tax number to anyone. This is quite common here. It's not like the social security number that you need to hide it. There's no identity theft just with the Portuguese tax number. It's quite common. Everyone at the restaurants will ask for it, and people do provide it. But this validation of invoices was created to try to just motivate people to invoice and to avoid tax evasion, basically. So the government provides minimum. I would say that each year I get a tax rebate of around 400 euros because I do request the invoices in restaurants, in the vets, mechanics, hairdressers. So
Gym
there's
as
a few
well.
key areas
Yep.
that you were saying. I'm sorry.
The gym as well. That's
The gyms as well, yeah. There's a few key areas: education, transportation, mechanics, that were either they are either seen as something useful for the public or the society as a whole, or that were connected with a lot of tax evasion. So, for instance, mechanics and hairdressers used to deal with a lot of money, and restaurants as well, cash in hand, and people would not invoice. So the government flipped the game and said, well, we're going to provide tax rebates if people request the invoices. And it actually worked. Nowadays, the informal economy in those sectors it still exists, but it's way less informal economy. And there's a lot more people paying taxes and their fair share of taxes. And that was the reason why they've basically inserted that system. And I would say it works it works all right. In the beginning, there were doing something funny. They were basically auctioning or taking a ticket out, and if you won the ticket, you would get an Audi. So we were actually helping Germany's economy, not ourselves. But then they cut that down. Instead of providing a car, they provided tax rebates, and it sounds a bit more fair. So it started somewhat skewed the system, but then it was corrected to something that I think it's a bit more fair.
Very good. Well, thank you for that insight into the system. Now, on that note, and I was in there last night crashing the website as well. Or in fact, when Mrs. Munson saw me having a bit of a nervous breakdown, she took over and crashed the website instead. When I mean, you could say, couldn't you, that the Finances portal is an incredible innovation as well. The amount of things you can do on there for yourself digitally, electronically is quite impressive and formidable equally. Are there YouTube videos? You know, how when one wants to go in there and do things of that kind, the sort of thing you're talking about, validating invoices, is it possible? Are there instructional, tuitional videos that Portuguese people watch as well?
Well, not for ourselves. At least I've never went on it. Probably you'll find it in YouTube for sure. There's someone that
Yes.
did videos
In
explaining
Portuguese.
things in the
Yeah.
We do offer some tuition for our clients when they request it, and it's usually connected with clients that purchased properties in Portugal and then are renting them out. Because one of the other functions that the web portal has is the issuance of the rental receipts and the registration out of the contract. So we do usually assist clients in registering the contracts online, but the monthly invoicing of the rent received, this is usually done via the client. So initially, we provide some tuition. We even have an instruction guide on how the client should issue the invoices. And there's another useful tool that the web portal has. And then that connects with the tenant's tax portal, and he has a tax rebate because of the rental agreement. So they try to tie things together as much as possible.
Okay, very interesting. So there might be a little bit of scope for a little bit of tuition on a webinar one evening. Could be a useful thing to introduce people to the Finances portal, something they'll never forget us for, should we introduce them to that world there. Thank you very much, Dream Team. We've got a couple of minutes to go. There's a couple of quickies, I think. The first of which is the question that Alex was asking. I can't find it here, but there doesn't seem to have been a legal change when it comes to, oh, here it is. Has anything changed with the purchasing of cars outside of Portugal, or is it still the same? It must be owned outside of the country for 6 months. Would you agree there, Daniel?
If my memory stands correct, it's a full year of ownership out of the car, and then you're able to import the car to Portugal, and you don't need to pay the VAT and other import duties. So if it has changed for 6 months, probably it's something fairly recent. This is an area that I usually do not operate, but yes, it makes sense that you need to own the car previously, and it was your own car. Otherwise, everyone would just buy a new car, would bring it to Portugal, and would subvert the whole system. So it does make sense the way that it was developed. And if you get it wrong, the penalties are hefty. So before a car is brought to Portugal, the research should be done, because otherwise, as Jerry said, the money spent can be really, really hefty.
Good to know. Thank you. And one other quick one. You very wisely pointed out that it's okay to shout out your contribuent, your NIF number in a public situation without causing yourself a data breach of some sort. Rebecca's asking, is that the same with an IBAN number? You probably need to be a little bit more careful with banking details, don't you, than you do with your NIF?
Correct. Nuno has answered that in the chat box, and I fully agree with him, because if you provide your IBAN number to people that you don't trust, you may end up with a direct debit that you don't want. Because in Portugal, in Europe, the direct debits, let's say for electricity, you provide the NIM number, and then you sign a piece of paper and you send it to the bank or to the institution. they should verify the signature that is in the bank and the one that is provided in that document. But if the person is fairly okay in forging signatures, you may end up footing the bill for someone that you don't know. So be mindful on where are you providing the IBAN details, because they shouldn't be public sourced.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Great information tonight. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Nunu. Thank you, Shari and Vera as well, and Jerry and Jackie. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thanks for all your questions, everybody, in Zoom and on YouTube. I think we'll finish with dates for the diary, Jerry, which I think you put into the chat there. Oh, we need you unmuted, Jerry. All right, Jerry, can you?
Sorry, you think I'd get the hang of that by now, wouldn't you? Yes, I put the dates in. On Saturday at 8 p.m. Lisbon time, we have another amazing social with Hank and Connie. Always very great fun and always very well attended. Can go on till late in the evening, but you know, most of us tend to retire about sort of 10 o'clock or thereabouts. But please, everyone's welcome to that. And then next Thursday at 7:30 p.m., we're doing another in our very popular Just Landed series. And we have 3 members who have recently landed in Portugal, and they're going to tell you and share their experiences and their first impressions and answer any questions that you might have. And that will be followed at 9 p.m. Lisbon time by our wonderful and excellent dream team.
This time next week. Perfect. Those Just Landed specials are wonderful, very informative, and you're hearing people's own personal point of view.
There is an amazing story to come out next week. Just
wonderful.
Both sad and happy and amazing.
Looking forward to that already, and to having the Dream Team again here next Thursday at 9. And do send our best, please, Daniel, to Gilda, if you could convey that for us. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day and your evening, and we'll see you again real soon. Take care, and bye for now.
Thank you.